Donald Trump today is trying to silence academic freedom. He's attacking one of the most important public institutions in the United States of America, one of the finest institutions for higher learning in the world, one of the great research institutions in this country, one of the reasons California is the tentpole of the U.S. economy, one of the reasons we have more scientists, engineers, more Nobel laureates than any other state in this nation. He has threatened us through extortion with a $1 billion fine unless we do his bidding. So as long as I'm governor, I will stand tall and push back against that. And I believe every member.
Folks, that was California Governor Gavin Newsom standing with 6 members of the Texas House. Now, understand what this battle has meant. Now it also is in Alabama, where a federal court has ruled that Alabama's congressional map actually violates the Voting Rights Act by not giving black voters a fair shot to elect candidates of their choice. The judges said the state's new map ignored court orders and still lacked a required second black majority district, which the legislature actually admitted. Now Alabama must use a map that's been drawn by an independent expert for the rest of the decade that will ensure 2 districts where black voters have real influence. The decision follows an appeal by state officials to the Supreme Court. But for now, the new map stands, reshaping Alabama's political landscape. Joining us right now to talk about this decision, again, this ties directly to what's happening in Texas, is Kadita Stone, a plaintiff in the Allen versus Milligan case. That's what this is based off of. And Kadita, listen, these white Republicans, they don't want to see black folks represented in Alabama. They fought, the same white Republicans fought the 2nd district in Louisiana. These are the same white Republicans who are fighting in Texas. Look, I'm not going to dance around this. This is white conservative Republicans wanting to deny political opportunities to black people.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. I do agree with you. This is a form of white supremacy at its best. There's really no reason, when the data shows that there's enough black people to draw a district, why not give it to them? So it was a victory in a way, because the court did agree with us and say that this map that is going to be put forth has to be put forth until 2030. But we're going to see, because in good old Alabama fashion, they appealed again. And so this is our 5th time constantly going back and forth to court, even with the Supreme Court ruling in our favor the very first time, as well as the lower courts. But it is definitely a disservice to black Alabamians.
Yeah, and I just need people to understand that that this is, see, people want to dance around this. Oh, well, I don't want to call it white supremacy. I don't want to call it white nationalism. I don't want to call it any of that. But that's what it is. They do not care about black people. They do not care. They want to subjugate black people to white, conservative, Republican rule for forever in Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And you brought up Texas, and I and my heart is with the lawmakers in Texas, but I truly do believe that they are doing what they're supposed to do with their constituents, elected them to do, which is to protect them, fight for them, be a voice for them. And by the looks of it, I can see that Texans showed up all across the state with those redistricting hearings. But the root of it is white supremacy, like you said.
And see what, and listen, although this federal court has ruled this, what do we have happening right now? The Republicans, these white Republicans, lost the case in Louisiana that went to the Supreme Court. Now they're trying to go back to the Supreme Court. They're going to hear the arguments again, because now they want to actually try to attack racial districts that could wipe out anywhere from 25 to 30 members of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very disheartening. We are in a very unique time in history, and I do believe that it is time for people to wake up and pay attention and organize in their communities, talk to each other about how these systems work, because as we all know, these systems were not created for us, but we do have a role to play by showing up and making our voices heard and organizing around the things that we want to change.
I have been saying this, and you talk about waking up. I have been saying to black people, I don't know how in the hell anybody black can sit out any election. We see what these people are doing. They're not playing games. They want to cement white power for the next 50 to 100 years. What do you say to black folks who continually play games and say, oh, Roland, you're trying to scare us. It's not that bad. It's not going to be that bad.
You know, what do I say to them? They need to read a book. They need to pick up a book and read. They need to know their history, because history is literally repeating itself. I would say that is all that they can do, really, is educate themselves on these issues and go to a museum in your area. If there's a museum that's telling you the history, if you don't like to read, okay, go to a museum and look at an exhibit. But we're just not in a time to be complicit, you know, and being silent and choosing to not, you know, put yourself in this, or choosing to not educate yourself, is complicity at its finest. And you are choosing for this, you know, for this to be the reality when, you know, it doesn't have to be.
Yep. Indeed, indeed. Karina, we surely appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right. We're going to keep, of course, pushing this issue. Let me go to my panel right now. I want to bring them into this because, again, folks, we have to face the fierce urgency of now to understand exactly what's going on because, look, these are not games to be played because they are playing for keeps. Michael Imhotep, host African History Network show out of Detroit. Matt Manning, civil rights attorney out of Corpus Christi. Raven Schwam Curtis, content creator and keynote speaker out of Chicago. Matt, I want to start with you. You're there in Corpus Christi. Listen, they're trying to play these cute little games, Matt, wanting to pit Latinos against African Americans. Listen, folks, don't fall for the okie doke. These white Republicans don't give a damn. They have been screwing over Latino voters, and now they're trying to play the opportunist game. Nah, don't fall for the okie doke.
Yeah, and we know that Texas demographics don't support that. We know that the majority of Texans probably don't even want Republicans. I mean, I think they're looking at the changes that may have occurred in the Valley in the last elections as it relates to Republicans winning a lot. But I don't believe that the data that Abbott is saying is supporting the way they're redrawing these maps is really supported. And you heard that from Rep. Anchia. And one thing I really wanted to say is on this show, I often talk about political pageantry, but Gavin Newsom just had one of the best presidential stump speeches I've seen in a while in his audition for president. And I think a lot of that is the undercurrent of this. Not only Gavin Newsom, but also Greg Abbott. They're both, angling for 1600 Pennsylvania in the next election. And I think some of this is an outcropping of that. But I think that was very smart the way he not only promoted those Texas Democrats who have done their job, in my opinion, and broken with the quorum, but took that opportunity to really not only align himself with the second largest state, being in the largest state in the country, but to call out Donald Trump directly and to take that tension and say, we're calling you out. I think that's very smart to do that. And I think you've spoken about the benefit of doing that kind of thing when you go to Mike Johnson's district, for instance. I think that's very smart the way they're playing that. But I think the bigger thing about all of this is Texans don't want this. And one more point to that. Look at John Cornyn. He's scared he's going to lose to Ken Paxton, right? So that's why John Cornyn is calling for the FBI to find Texas Democrats somewhere else in the country and bring them back. It's all political pageantry, and it's all to do Donald Trump's bidding, and it's all to retain their power here in Texas, even though the demographics don't support it and the people don't want it.
Absolutely. And Raven, they're pissed off that Democrats are there in your state of Illinois, saying, oh, that's one of the most gerrymandered states. And here's the whole deal. Republicans, you gerrymandered, so you're mad that Democrats are gerrymandering. And what Gavin Newsom is doing, what Pritzker, Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois has been saying, and then, of course, you may see it in Virginia, in Maryland, in New York State. It's like, yo, we're not going to sit here and handcuff ourselves while you bash us over the head with a bat. We're going to grab a bat ourselves and bash you over the head and gerrymander the hell out of our states. If you want to play fair, let's play fair. And let's remember, Raven, when a bill came up in Congress to make it illegal, to have gerrymandering across the country, every Republican voted against, all Democrats voted for. The Democrats said, let's get rid of gerrymandering. Not one Republican voted for that bill. That tells you exactly where they stand. And everything they say right now is horse shit.
Yeah, Roland, I mean, I think you're really spot on. And kind of as Gavin Newsom was speaking, I thought it was really interesting that he mentioned the terminology of temporary gerrymandering. And I think that underlines the point that you're making, that in so many ways, when Democrats gerrymander, it's in response to the abuse of power being proliferated by Republicans. I also don't think all gerrymandering is made the same, right? When Republicans gerrymander, it's to further sideline historically disenfranchised communities. When Democrats gerrymander, it's to give voice to historically disenfranchised communities. So these types of gerrymandering are absolutely not made the same. I also really, really like what he said about it being as American as apple pie for a minority to stand up and protest, right, against a majority that is very blatantly abusing their positionality and their stance, in a congressional sort of standing. And I think this is really important to name. This has been a huge inflection point of watching Texas Democrats give that knuck if you buck energy. Like I'm so here for it. And especially as a young person involved in politics, what I'm hearing from my peers over and over again is that folks are hungry for that, right? Don't just lay down and take it. Like, let's fight back. Show me that energy. And I think it's really incredible that that's what we're seeing from our electeds right now. I spent a big portion of my childhood in Houston, Texas. Texas is the first place that I voted in 2016 when I was eligible to vote. And it's dope to be in Illinois now and to be seeing my governor really stand 10 toes down, in line with these Texas Democrats. Super important.
Yep, indeed. Folks, hold tight. I want to go to Michael here. Michael, again, I don't think people understand how serious this is. We were signaling that when it came to Project 2025. We know what their game plan is. Republicans are scared to death. We are seeing prices going up. Donald Trump is freaking out. We saw he was lying the other day in the Oval Office with these fake job numbers because they know they're going to get their asses kicked when you keep getting bad news for the next 12 months. And so they're trying to get ahead of this, and Democrats must be constantly on the attack every single day.
Absolutely have to be on the attack every single day. But as Governor Greg Abbott increases the pressure, and as State Attorney General of Texas Ken Paxton increased the pressure, we saw today that the Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows in Texas, in addition to announcing that they were going to that the House members have to show up to pick up their $750 stipend check, but also they were going to take away 30% of the monthly budget of each member's office as well, which impacts their staff. So Democrats are going to have to fight back economically also. Okay. And it's going to, because the pressure is increasing on Democrats, but the pressure is not increasing on Republicans. They're in Texas. So I think what they're going to have to look at doing is also having targeted, sustained, strategic economic withdrawal strategies of certain corporations that help finance these Republicans in the Texas state legislature. Okay. And then have nationwide economic boycotts targeting those corporations to push back and put pressure on those Republicans also. But this is predicted, and Roland, this is the same week as the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, August 6, 1965. And you talk about the map in Alabama. We know Alabama was ground zero for the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And people have to connect the dots because, yes, we talked about Project 2025. This is a power grab, a white nationalist power grab that's taking place. But the reason why you needed the 1965 Voting Rights Act is because of what happened in Mississippi in 1890. The Mississippi State Convention, where they rewrote the state constitution to impose poll taxes, literacy tests, but also a lifetime felony disenfranchisement law. So if you got convicted of a felony, you lost your right to vote for life. That felony disenfranchisement law is still law in Mississippi to this day in 2025 that went into effect in 1890. All of that was specifically targeting African-American men who were voting. So we have to connect that history to what's going on today. It was white nationalism and white supremacy in 1890. It's the same thing right now. We have to continue to fight back, but fight to win.
Indeed. Hold tight 1 second. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
Be sure to register for my new online history course. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. This class is on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to start Saturday, August 6th. 2025. Go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and scroll down. This is African empires, the Moors, and the transatlantic slave trade, 5000 BC to 1800 AD. This is a 10-week online course. We're actually going to start on Saturday, September 6th. Click right here to register. Classes on sale, $80. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch it anytime. And one of the things we'll talk about are various African empires, whether we talk about ancient Nubia or the Kush Empire, ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, Great Zimbabwe, Carthage, the Nok culture. We're going Meroe, Axum. We're going through and looking at history, thousands of years of history, various African empires, and then also we'll deal with the transatlantic slave trade and how it evolved. So we'll look at history from 5000 BC through 1800 AD. You'll get 5 of my lectures in digital download format free with this. And then also be sure to download our class lesson plan here as well. Click on the download button to download our class lesson plan. And visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Our social media handles are here as well. And you can email me through the website. Just click on contact the African History Network. So this class is PG-13. You can use this content with your children. Also, I don't do a lot of cursing or anything like that. It's very visual. There are 80 to 100 articles that we reference in the class. I show you the articles on the screen. The 15 books that we reference. You don't have to buy any of the books. We show you the books we show you the pages of the books on the screen as well. And there are 200 slides in the class also. Okay. So I have a PowerPoint presentation, the video clips that we show, excerpts of interviews I've done with some of our historians. I've been teaching this class on and off since 2017. So it has evolved immensely since then. Also, you can support the African History Network through PayPal and Cash App. We have the information right on the homepage of my website. If you scroll down, $ the AHN show through Cash App and through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show. This is our Cash App. Tag $ the AHN show, SHOW. When you go to it, it'll say Michael and show my picture there. Okay, these are some fake African History Network Cash App accounts that have been stealing money from us. And I put our tag right here. Here's our link to our Cash App, QR code. Okay, so you can support us there if you want to donate support us $5, $10, $15, $25, $50, $100, whatever it is. It definitely helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, pay some of the bills, and broadcast the Sunday night show also. And here's our link for PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show. Okay. All right. So look, we have to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct your own behavior. It's not over till we win. What kind of